Hi, good afternoon. Welcome back to Insurance 101 by Trusted Capital Insurance Brokerage, Inc. I am going to name this segment Is Insurance an Asset or is it an expense? So I want to say that we came up, or I ended up coming up with this segment as I was talking to a couple of different people because I actually do write commercial insurance as well as not only your personal lines insurance. So your commercial insurance, it consists of, I want to say, contractors. If you own any type of business, I would actually be able to insure that. So that's what your commercial lines insurance would be. So it would be insurance to insure your businesses. So this one particular contractor that I actually insure every couple of every so often, he has to have audits and things of that nature done. So what I do is I send over the paperwork directly to his accountant and I help him with the audit process on the insurance side, because most people don't know, but depending on what type of business you have, it can actually be rated, and your business would be rated based upon the I want to say based upon your receipts. So when they ask you how much do you project to make within a year, that's what your insurance is actually rated on. It's going to be rated upon your receipts or the books and things of that nature. So I had this one young man and he says to me, well, I'm talking to my accountant and my accountant is telling me that my insurance is actually considered to be an expense and it's definitely not an asset. So I had to explain to him that once you actually reshift and readjust your way of thinking about it, then it becomes an asset. And what I mean by that is it is going to be the quality of the insurance that makes it an asset. So, because we all know that insurance basically means in the event that something happens. So like I always say, insurance is named or insurance should be called just in case shit happens, or it also is called, I like to call it CYA, and excuse my French to anybody that is offended by the curse word, so please excuse me. And what I mean by CYA means cover your ass, okay? So meaning in the event that, let's say, a loss happens to your business, and now this is how you actually make your money, where do you go and recoup those losses? Because you want to make sure that your business or your policy actually has loss of income or loss of business on the policy. So this is what I always say when I talk to my insureds. Your insurance is only as good as the coverages that you elect to take out. And this is only when it becomes an asset to you. So we all know that sometimes it takes years and years and years for before you ever have a claim, thank goodness, and they ever have to pay out. So you want to make sure that in the event that the claim, that you do have a claim, that it will pay out for what you have, that you're actually covering. Like, for example, I have this one lady, I was talking to her son today, and she actually, very nice young lady, and I'm trying to see if I can get her home in the Bronx covered. And it's a nice a beautiful three-family home, actually. Beautiful three-family home. But then as I'm talking to her son, I find out that, of course, this young lady has worked all her life, and now here it is, she has 4 other homes in the state of Florida that she rents out to others. Now, this is basically what her income is kind of based off of. So in the event that, let's say, something happens to one of those houses that she's currently renting out and it is not covered, now where does her loss of income come from? If she has the right insurance policy, which would be a tenant's, or not a tenant's policy, excuse me, a landlord's policy. And a landlord's policy basically gives you loss of rent on the policy. So therefore you would not be missing anything. And meaning if a covered loss were to occur, then she would now, that insurance now becomes an asset instead of an expense. So an expense, I always say, when it comes to your insurance, is when people look at me and say, give me the cheapest insurance, period, point blank, I don't care. That's when your insurance now becomes an expense, because you're not thinking about the things that you should be protecting. And then when a claim does happen, you say, well, why wasn't it covered? Well, it wasn't covered due to the fact that you looked at insurance as an expense rather than an asset. So you have to make sure that certain things that you know that are going to be important to you are covered. Like I always tell people, when it comes to your home is your asset, period, point blank. And if you somehow, if you somehow think, and that's the young man right now that's texting me in reference to his mother's home, but if you somehow think that a home is now an expense and not an asset, then you're not the type of person I want to deal with. You are probably still that person working at Chipotle or who only owns a Chipotle card in your wallet. Because I did have somebody tell me, oh no, your house is not an asset, it's an expense. And I'm looking going, okay, well, why don't you give me your home and I'm going to write it down as an expense for you and I'll take the asset. I don't know what people think, but anywho. So when you're actually going and doing your coverages and sitting down and with your agent, your local broker, whoever it might be, you want to make sure that those things are covered. And especially anyone that actually rents out properties to others, or especially if you have a business, because this is what brings your money into your home. So if you have any questions and about any type of insurance whatsoever, please do not hesitate to go ahead and leave me a comment down below. I want you to make sure that you definitely subscribe to my channel. I want you to also like this video and make sure that you share it with your friends and family. And if you have any questions in regards to insurance, please feel free to ask. Again, I am a licensed insurance broker in the state of New York. I do have my P&C license, which means that I can do property and casualty, which means that I can insure your businesses, I can insure your homes, your autos, your boats, your umbrellas, jewelry, you name it, I do it, and life and health insurance as well. I do have access to other states other than New York, so if you want to know what those states are, just leave me a comment or hit me up, and I will definitely make sure that I get back to you to answer any of those questions. Thank you so much once again for watching Insurance 101 by Trusted Capital Insurance Brokerage Inc. Have an amazing afternoon.